Welcome back to the ISB show, Asian World Cup qualifiers reaction. We were looking forward to this round because we were waiting for teams to qualify for the World Cup. We're going to go through all of it in a second, boys. What an exciting day. Let me show real quick. I got to show this. I know you guys don't love this, but I got to show this. This graphic right here shows you the standings. The Q means qualified.
Let's go.
A means advance to the next round. That's where it stands. There's a few matches that still haven't been figured out that we figured on Tuesday. But guys, today was a day of making it to the next round. And we're going to talk about all those teams. We're going to talk about Indonesia, of course, later down the line, because they had a huge victory that got them through the next round. We have to start, guys. We have to start here about the teams that made it to the World Cup for the first time. For all the Indonesian fans, don't worry. We're going to have a full separate video. We'll talk about it later in this video, but we'll have a full separate video on your historic match. But the moment at the beginning belongs to Uzbekistan and Jordan.
Woo! That's the cue for qualified.
I was wondering what you were doing.
This is an incredible day. An incredible day if you're from the fine country of Uzbekistan or you appreciate a team that has played well for a long time and that deserves to qualify for the World Cup, that has been close time and time again, and they're finally there. And it's an incredible day. If you're from the beautiful country of Jordan, we saw what they could do in the Asia Cup. We saw how good they could be. We saw what Al-Naimat could do. We saw what Al-Tamari could do. They are going to the World Cup, Roy. What a day for these two countries. What a day to celebrate. Oh, to be in Amman or Tashkent right now.
My God. I after witnessing that Uzbekistan tie against UAE, I felt such a rush of joy throughout my body. As many of you know, I've loved this team for a long time. I can't really explain why. It started or intensified when Uzbekistan played the United States of America. And though the result didn't really tell the story, they played so heroically, so technically gifted. They were fighting till the very last second, and they have carried that throughout these entire World Cup qualifying campaigns, and they just secured their first ever World Cup berth, and this is massive. I would love to see an aerial shot of all the streets of Uzbekistan, because there has to be parties throughout the entire country. This is incredible. This is historic. I am just so freaking overjoyed, guys.
Yuspov. Remember the name. Yuspov. This man was a one-man wall.
We'll talk about that game. I just want to say before we do it, we're going to talk about Jordan in a second. We're going to start with Uzbekistan, then talk to Jordan. But I got to say, guys, remember my boys Yazid Al-Naimat and Al-Tamari getting through. I saw them in the Asian Cup. They made it through. But Roy, you make a good point. Let's start with Uzbekistan. It started with that match against the U.S. We were all watching it, and we said, you know what? This team is pretty good. This team is pretty good. Actually, it started even prior to that when they beat India. They whipped India in the Asian Cup when they whipped them then. And we were like, this is a very, very good team. And now it's come across, and man, everything in this match, Rahi, what a fantastic performance by Yuspov. You mentioned it. He really took him over the line in this match.
If you're an Uzbek fan and you're watching this game, you had to be living on the edge of your seat because it was an emotional roller coaster. For a moment, when Faizuliev has that header, you think, yes, it's done. Because if he scores that goal, you're up 1-0. You're not going to let the draw go away. And then you have to live through a chance after chance. Yuspov saves. And then, Roy, in the 98th minute, the final minute of the game, there's a moment where the UAE forward turns, the shot goes through the legs of the defender, and if you're like me, every single fan, you're just, that's in.
That's always goes in.
That's in.
That always
somehow
goes in.
Yuspov makes that save, man. I don't know how he makes that save. That ended the game. That's the final moment of the game. But oh, wow. Well-deserved celebrations. You got to be happy for the Uzbekistan team.
Dude, he was a beast that game. I would be shocked if clubs around the world weren't watching that game and aren't going to be chasing him after that incredible performance. He was an absolute hero. He should be a national hero. They should build a statue of him in the central square, because that was such a heroic performance, guys. The match was tense. The match was really, really, really tense. UAE seemed to have more possession throughout the match. They had more shots throughout the match. And it just seemed like the kind of game that was going to lead to a disappointing 1-0 loss. But they stuck with it. They were defensively sound and disciplined. And those goalkeeping heroics, man, that's what made the difference. Vamos, Uzbekistan, carajo. Vamos.
And Fazuliev has showed that, when he came in, I thought the match changed because
awesome.
He came in, he created the best opportunity, right?
Hit the crossbar, right? Like in the
crossbar,
54th minute.
Hit the crossbar.
I mean, there's a few players we're gonna watch in this World Cup, right? Fazuliev number one, I think. Of course, your boy Rush Shamudarov, and then he's another player, right? So there's so many good.
And then of course Kusanov, right? The big name now.
Kusanov, of course, in the back. Shukurov as well. So we have a lot of players.
Uranov is a great player,
who can set this World Cup on fire.
Yep. Okay, we got to talk about Jordan, but Roy, it is time. Someone on this panel, I don't care if it's Rahi or Roy, someone needs to buy Uzbekistan shirt now. We promised all the Uzbek fans out there that we would get it. So, Roy, if you're not going to get it, I'm going to get it. Or Rahi's got to get someone on this panel has to buy either the jersey or the shirt. All right.
So it's really nice. So what Sakil is saying is he will be buying Uzbekistan jerseys for me and Rahi.
Okay.
I appreciate you volunteering for that.
All right. To all our Uzbek fans out there, what's the celebratory meal? I want to know. What are you eating to commemorate this great day? Please tell us.
Please.
Yes, let us know. Let us know. So, and let us know how the scene in Tashkent tonight, because we want to know what's going on there. Speaking of scenes, another country that has risen, and we saw them in the final of the Asian Cup. Came so close in that, unfortunately. And I gotta no offense to some of the other teams out there, but I had a special place in my heart for the Jordanians because I love the three up front, the combination of Ali Olwan, Yazan Al-Naimat, and Musa Tamari, and the three up front are so deadly. And the way they combine, Rahi, I don't see teams play like this. And today they ran through Oman.
And so unselfish, right? In the end, it's Ali Olwan who gets the 3 goals. He ends up with the hat trick. But if you watch the game, one's a penalty, right? And the other 2 are perfect balls. One from Al-Naimat, the other from Al-Tamari. And all he has to do is tap it into an empty net almost both times. So that's what it is. It's not just how good these 3 are together, but how unselfish they are. They don't care who scores the goal, right? It's just a matter of getting the much needed victory. And in the end, it's a huge victory for Jordan. It feels like a meteoric rise. Yeah. It feels like a team that has been on fire over the past couple of years. To me, they came almost out of nowhere in the Asia Cup. And this is well-deserved. They've been incredible throughout qualifying, playing difficult teams, doing it well, playing Korea well. I mean, this is an incredible qualifying performance from Jordan. Well-deserved in the tournament, Roy.
Well-deserved. And this has been happening for some time now. This rise of the Jordanian national team, these exceptional performances, these players that are starting to become household names across Jordan. This performance from Olwan was a freaking hat trick to qualify.
Yeah, but it's all Al-Naimat and Al-Tamari. Yes, I mean, he was the finisher, but give credit, I think, to both those wingers. Yeah.
It was everyone else. But at the end of the day, to say you got a hat trick to take your country to their first ever World Cup, that is every human being's dream. And he just achieved it. He carried his country, the goal scoring responsibilities. But that's just such an extraordinary performance from that man. Yes. I can't believe what he's done. And the moment he decided to do it they're qualified, man, for the first time ever.
It's exciting. It's super exciting. So congratulations to all the Jordanian fans out there, the Jordanian people. We had a special episode where we brought a guest on from Jordan. Yeah. Maybe we'll bring him on again. So we'll see. Maybe
Queen Rania will come to the U.S. for the World Cup. I mean, she's got to be the most famous monarch, the most famous queen ever said, at the moment. Hopefully she graces the World Cup with her presence.
Very, very exciting. Before we move on to what our last game, we got to mention another team that qualified for the World Cup. look, South Korean fans, you're always here. You're always there, and we're going to welcome you back. We'll probably do more videos on South Korea just to talk about the team as a whole. This was a match where Iraq made it easy on South Korea by doing a flying head kick to like a player. I don't know what in the world Al-Naimat was thinking, but that made things a lot easier. And look, South Korea fans, Rahi, they were going to get here. We know they were going to get here, so Daha Minguk.
Yeah. It's a different feeling, I think, if you're a South Korea fan. You celebrate, you're happy to be where you belong and where you have been over and over again. That's in the World Cup. But there's been ups and downs in qualifying, right? It hasn't been as easy as you would have hoped, considering the talent this team has. But in the end, it doesn't matter. Time and time again, we've seen teams that have struggled in qualifying, that have struggled in friendlies leading up to the World Cup, and then are able to turn it on at the right moment in the right climate. So I think this Korean team coming to the US, where there are so many Korean fans, right? Huge population of Koreans in the US. This could be just the right environment for this team to take off because they haven't yet taken off, Roy. They have not.
Nope.
But maybe the World Cup is when they'll do it.
I hope so, man. I hope so. And for the Koreans traveling to the United States of America for the World Cup, they say, I'm sure you guys heard this, they say the best Korean food outside of Korea is in
Los Angeles,
California.
Yeah.
Los Angeles, California. Many Koreans from Korea have said they prefer the Korean food from Los Angeles, California.
All
I
right.
hope they play in LA. That would be amazing because that would be a huge Korean population.
Oh, that would be insane.
That would be quite a bit of fun. But a big week for Korea. Elected a new leader of the country, qualified for the World Cup, all in the same week. Big week if you're Korean.
Yes, yeah. I'm waiting to hear the chant. I remember I've heard it always in the stands. Da Haminguk. I don't know if I pronounced that properly, but that's the story with that. Okay, finishing off this video, guys. Yes, you guys did it. Indonesia, not to the World Cup, but into the next round. Like I said, we're going to have another video that's going to come out very shortly covering this whole match. But guys, final thoughts quickly on this match. As we finish off the video here, we got to say something about it for our Indonesian fans.
I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. The story is so good of this team. And I'm grateful because we get to watch this team in more qualifiers, right? We get to see them play at least 3 more games. And the sky's the limit for what they can accomplish. They're just getting in players. Today, again, Ole Romani was the hero. He's only played, 4 games for this team or 3 games. And he's done so much. So I can't wait to continue to watch this team. There were players missing. Ultimately, though, they get the victory they needed. And Roy, in the pressure moments when they had to do it, they got it done. And that's what matters most. In front of 70,000 at home, Indonesia on to the next round.
Yep. This is what I call a cardiac match because I'm sure cardiac incidents across Indonesia spiked during this match because that was so terrifying to see the way China came out and they were on the front foot for a lot of this game. I wouldn't say they were the better team. Indonesia was absolutely the better team, but this game was really, really tight.
Yeah.
Really tight, guys. And Aldedo, we talked about it in the last video. No Martin Paz. Emil Aldedo comes in for his first match for Indonesia. What I see is that Indonesian fans believe that this is their actual starter. That Martin Paz, they appreciate what he has done. He's done fantastic. I still love Martin Paz. I still believe he deserves to be the starter, but they've got a decision to make in this next match of who becomes the starter. We will see. And what a performance, guys. What a freaking performance. This was magnificent. This is exactly what Indonesia needed. They're through. They're through to the next round in 4th place. Phenomenal. Vamos, Garuda. Vamos.
Phenomenal. And Emilio Dero would talk about all the saves. So Indonesian fans, as we mentioned, another video coming up just for you. We're going to cover all that match. Tune into that one very shortly. You want to say something, Rahi?
Yeah, we have to talk about Palestine. Okay. Palestine kept themselves alive. The story of this team is incredible. They have a chance on the last day. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, there's 2 teams that we'll cover extensively next week, Palestine and Australia, because Australia is nearly there. The huge victory against Japan in the last minute. So we will talk about that next week because I think Australia is all but through in that. And Palestine with a golden opportunity, as Rahi mentioned, in the final match hosting Oman. Well, kind of hosting them because they're playing in Jordan. But regardless, a chance to go through the World Cup, not the World Cup, the next round of the World Cup qualifiers. What a story that will be there. So for you Uzbek fans, for you Jordanian fans, for you South Korean fans, now's your time to celebrate. Let us know how you feel in the comments. Indonesian fans, let us know as well. And all you other teams out there who played in the Asian qualifiers that we didn't get to touch on this video, let us know your thoughts in the comments. As we always say, guys, keep watching the beautiful game and keep watching Asian football.
It's too good.